And a response from Rose.
You said that you wanted to talk to
Mason.
Not long after you send the text saying that you wanted to talk to the Mason, she is going to call you. Thomas.
Madam?
You said... Well, haven't called me that in a long time. You want to speak with Mason?
Yes.
Is it safe to ask why on the phone?
If you have yes and no?
Yes and no. Do we have to meet in person?
If you like to, we can meet, no problem.
Come to Ecstasy, please.
Tell the chauffeurs, change your plans. We're going to Ecstasy.
Okay.
You'll have a free drink. On me.
Now, when you arrive at Ecstasy, the sign that said XTC with the little silhouette of the tuxedo collar is gone. The whole thing's been ripped out. It's been replaced with a very nice carved wood sign that says the Ecstasy Saloon. Spelt out completely. Ecstasy.
Ooh, good old days.
The building has been completely revamped and refurbished to look like an old saloon. When you get up to the front steps, where the saloon doors would typically be, there are standard doors. And there's that young girl that you saw before with the really long curly hair sitting outside. Mr. Cass, right this way. And she'll lead you in. And when you get inside, the carpet's gone. It's all wood floor. It looks like an old-fashioned saloon now. Which is really the only part of this that's not that big of a change. Because the opening area was updated to look more modern. But this has been brought back to its former glory. You can't even really tell that. You have to take a second chance look just to make sure that the lights are electric. They even have those light bulbs in them with the metal flame filament that looks like flickering fire. There's a few people in here, maybe a few dozen. And Rose is sitting towards the back of the bar, chatting with a girl behind the bar. Just sipping on a drink.
Start walking closer. See if she notices me.
Thanks, Diana. And she sends her on her way. Alright, so why are you messing with our police contact?
I found an inn for our building of interest.
Good.
Local kindred, his family runs the Chinese...
A local kindred?
Yeah.
Who?
Insert name.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Apparently, his family, non-kindred. From
Any idea on clan?
He was smelling me around, so I will deduce Gangrel.
You would deduce Gangrel.
Any other clan does that?
That's racist.
What did he do?
Smell me?
Well, anybody with...
Sniffed me. That's the best way.
I mean, anybody with animalism or perhaps aspects.
I don't want to point fingers to clans, that's all.
Alright.
So...
Come with me. She's going to walk through a set of doors. Close them behind her. There's a small hallway. It's a little bit more modern now that you've left that area. And she takes you into an office. This is more Ventru when you walk in.
I feel at home.
So you're in Rose's office. Alright. So you need Mason?
So if she offers me a seat, I'll sit down.
Yeah.
Pretty much the whole deal is he has human family, and the place is overrun with meth dealers.
Yeah. That's Old Town.
His human family, it's addicted to, and he wants him out. If he does out, I have an in with for the building.
Okay. You have an assumed gangrel. Who's trying to get some family member off meth. And then he'll put a good word in for you for the building.
That's pretty much the gist of it.
The big issue that we have with that is that gangrel are anarch. Now, cleaning the drug issue up in that area of town is probably a good idea anyway.
The thing is, you can call it whatever you want, but I like to show money first and then a gun next. I like to do a business first, and if it doesn't work, try out the other way.
Okay.
So far, the first way it's working a little bit, but we don't know where it's gonna go after this. If it works, awesome. We get an in. We slowly work out the annex to move out.
Okay.
We make the place look better. Trust me, it needs it. And we have an Elysium.
You want to give that building as an Elysium?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were just looking for a community haven.
Too public for me. I respect her Nosferatu. I know she has the best intentions, but... Yeah.
Okay. You all need to have a group haven.
We're looking into it. Our Tremere has been sending us locations. Possible locations.
Okay. So, how is working with Mason going to help with this?
Police involvement, mainly. We're trying to find a kid. I'm gonna give him his name, last name. I got that. See if we can try to find him, do police action. If he can work his magic in, even better. Unless you think Monroth is the better option for this thing.
I don't think getting anybody who's involved directly in the Prince's court involved with anything is a good idea ever.
I'm open to ideas if you have any.
Well, King expects you all to handle this yourselves. That doesn't mean that you can't work with others to do it. But you are going to have cred.
Okay.
You want to go to Mason to get him to do you a favor, which means you're going to owe him a boon. Are you ready to accept that side of boons? Owing, not just being owed.
If it benefits the Camarilla, gotta be done.
She's going to get her phone out. Mason, do you have time tonight for a meeting with family? Okay, where? Okay. And she just hangs up. Meet him at midnight at the depot on the south side of Steel Bridge. And he'll meet with you. I'm going to give you this warning, though. Mason's a nice guy.
Don't fuck him over.
There are no nice guys. That's his persona. I know his sire. I know his grandsire. They're very powerful kindred. Don't get yourself in a situation where you owe him too much.
Alright.
And then she'll let you go. Back to the Bauhaus.
I've been doing a little bit of thinking. I'm looking for something not a little more abstract at this point.
Okay. I assume you're talking to a Renfield.
Yes.
Okay.
That's fair.
Okay. What'd you have in mind?
Non-representative?
Non-representative?
Yes. Do you have anything? It's because I see a great deal of creature of the night imagery and such, but I figure there must be something.
Oh, nocturnal creations?
Yes.
That's just anything that has... that's our artwork. Like, nothing is representative of an association or anything like that.
I thought that was the filing system. So...
No, just alphabetical.
Where would I, then? A for abstract?
A
N
for abstract?
Representational? G for geometric?
Well, it kind of depends, again, what you're trying to do. Are you trying to get any certain geometric shapes in? Or are you looking for something a little bit more occult?
I have to trust that I'll know it when I see it.
Well, by all means, you can take as much time as you'd like. We are a no-pressure company.
Yes, but which area, which volume would you suggest that I look?
That would depend on what you're trying to find.
I see.
Because everything has its own name, and everything's in alphabetical order.
So it's not filed by genre.
No, it's filed by by what the name of the thing is itself.
That's a bit of a bind, doesn't it?
Depends. If you know what you're looking for, I can tell you and show you exactly what books it in.
But if you're looking for an abstraction, it would have no particular name, being as it is not a representation of any particular thing.
Not necessarily true.
That which would be assigned by the person making the design. And if you do not know that name beforehand, how would you find it?
Most of our customers tend to.
Flip, 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 flip.
Give me a manipulation persuasion.
3.
Okay. After a little while, curtain opens towards the back, and the man himself appears. He is wearing very high boots that come up to about his knees, jeans. He's wearing a vest but no shirt. You can see various tattoos, most of them dragon themed, all over him. If you catch his back, if he moves in a way that makes his vest rise a little bit, you can actually see he is corseted himself. So you can see exposed inner tissue from his back where it's been ripped open and then cinched with what looks like black ribbon.
And he appears to be kindred, perhaps?
He does not appear to be human, but he just has a lot of body modifications. He's got claws.
Attempting to observe for blinking, eye motion, breathing.
You don't know if he has eyelids.
Pallor.
Which is a thing.
That does complicate things.
It does. It does. If you want to, however, you can do a wits plus insight roll to see if you can tell if he's any telltale signs of humanity in this guy.
I mean, never mind.
Actually, that's not bad.
The whites of his eyes are black. The
5.
5?
Yeah.
With extensive staring. Which will take a while. You do not see him. At one point in time, you see him take a drag of a cigarette and not release it.
Oops, just kind of forgot about that one and just kept it.
Well, he went to smoke and then somebody said something and he turned around and started talking to them. And then maybe 2 or 3 minutes later, he turned around and let it out.
That guy has iron lungs.
Well, I've been staring at him.
One of the things he says...
He probably gets that reaction a lot.
One of the things he says to the nearest Renfield is, she's going to need some medical attention.
Okay, but he doesn't seem to take any notice of me?
Lots of people are staring at him.
Yeah, like I was saying. I was I'm gaping at it. But then again, when you look like that, that's got to happen a lot.
Yeah. People walk up to him and say some stuff, and he's like, my autograph is very expensive. There's you hear him talking to individual people who come up and are like, there are contracts. Once I do a tattoo on you, you are never allowed to get a tattoo done by anybody else ever again. And like somebody will be like, or what? And he'll point up at the things and just laugh, and they'll be like, and everybody thinks it's a joke. You can tell by the insight roll that was not a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Those are reclaimed, contract broken tattoos, but they're very good.
I don't think that's where I want to start here tonight.
They we'll say at 10:30 have a wine tasting, and everybody's given a nice big glass of wine and a blood bag, which is wine. Like, you can see it, you can smell it, it's red wine, they're all tasting his line of Impaler Inc. bottled wine that he has, and they're all enjoying it. Insight also, since it took so long for you to stare at him, his is not wine. Very obvious for those who are staring. But yeah, he seems very nice, but also very businesslike, down to business. If he's doing something, there is a contract involved.
After a while, I'm going to, I assume, have a sense of what the art styles of all the different people in here are. Yeah.
Okay.
And eventually I'm going to pick one that appeals to me in some visceral manner who isn't him.
Okay.
And I guess
I'll
elbow my way up to the doorway or whatever.
There's about 7 artists, including him, who work here. And they're all, like, first name Renfield. Like, they all have Renfield as their...
Oh, it's Bob Renfield J versus Renfield M. Yeah.
I mean, you also get some goofy names like R-Money and stuff like that. But Renfield is worked in somewhere. But yeah, there's lots of types of art. There's some realists art, somebody who does, like, portraits of people. He's the only one that has a contract involved in his stuff.
Yeah, we're seeing that guy.
Which is actually in the magazines also, as people come from all over the world to get his tattoos and are happy to sign these contracts saying that the people who do that are his canvas at that point. And yeah, they'll come back to him again and again and again for, like, satisfied how beautiful his work is. Now, the Renfields are also amazing. But yeah, there's abstract, there we go. Realist, there's postmodern, there's wildlife, there's anime style. It's like people all specialize in different kinds of things.
Yeah, probably that first guy.
Okay.
We're looking for non-representation. So I'm going to hover outside his door where you said there's is more of a managed anarchy than a line.
You kind of have to go out up front to the register to, like, because none of the things are, like, you don't see anybody's names on anything. You do know where the big man is because his big coffin shaped door is towards the back.
There's actual doors. What's the
material?
it's
the way that the place works is it's a massive art gallery,
right?
Effectively,
right? Yeah.
And towards the back and the sides, there are. It's not really a room because, like, you can see over, and the fact that it's just walls, but they're like odd-shaped coffin and castle and cut out walls with the doors that are whatever funny shape they wanted also, with, like, a red velvet curtain.
Okay. So it's a curtain. They just draw the curtain usually?
Yeah.
Perfect. That gives me room to do what I was going to do, which is post up and...
Yeah. There's also an amphitheater located, where in the center of the room, you can tell that the carpet can actually be moved back. And this, again, will be in the magazines, where they actually open it up, and there's a glass ceiling with a chamber underneath for some of the more detailed
Medical
work
attention required work. Yeah.
where he does things in full view of the public. If the person who wants it done wants it done like that, and for those who sign waivers to watch and things like no photography, blah blah blah. So you can actually see where the carpet is split, where it would be pulled back.
Fun.
The floor even sounds a little different, like a little hollow when you walk in the middle of the room.
But I'm trying to peer through the curtain at the artist that I'm looking at here.
Can't.
Okay, it's firmly drawn.
Yes.
From what I know of kindred physiology, though, I think the top question on my mind at the moment is there going to be a tell? If I've got Blush of Life on, but...
Kindred don't typically bleed.
Yeah.
Not unless they get a severe injury. And usually it's around the torso. But arms and stuff like that don't typically bleed unless they force it to. So you could very well force blood to make yourself bleed. But you don't know how long that's going to last, if it's going to even look right.
Yeah.
And tattoos can be rather bloody.
That might not be a great idea then. I'm going to have to then at that point let the whims of the crowd draw me out the door and out of here.
Can you please roll your composure plus subterfuge as you're out the door, as you're walking out the door? As you're heading out, you head out the door. What do you do?
I'm trying to... Typically any place that's crowded and anarchic like this has got kind of a Brownian crowd motion to it. People are in, people are out, people are drinking at this point, which certainly contributes to that.
Yeah, there's like a little like metal like pike style fence with like a velvet rope with a sign that says no drinks past this point.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, that's easily solved. I'm going to find somebody to chat up.
Okay.
And after that's been a little while, I'll persuade them to accept free alcohol, which is usually not a hard sell.
Okay.
And then after a few moments have gone by, I'll assume an air like I've seen a friend outside and I'll get the hell out.
Okay. Where are you heading?
Back to my car.
Cool. As you reach your car, there's a voice behind you. I do kindred too. And it stays.
Yes. I was afraid that might be the case.
You're afraid that might be the case?
It's forbidden.
To do tattoos on kindred?
No.
I think that actually helps with the masquerade. What are you talking about?
It's forbidden to permanently change the form of man.
I respect your practices. Unfortunately, my entire existence is permanently changing the form of man.
I had come to the point of considering that it might be an interesting thing to try because it would not permanently change form.
Well, any of my Renfields can do that. I'm the only one who can make it permanent on kindred.
Yes, but then the concern of discretion overtook me.
The concern of discretion?
Yes. Physiology is not the same.
I have a couple that do know that work for me.
Do you?
And they'll be happy to work on you. And Christoph, actually, and he'll shake your hand. You can feel the claws. He doesn't do anything vicious with them, but you can feel them. It's slightly unnerving. Christoph, Constantine, not Vlad Lugosi. That's just a stage name.
Firmin.
Firmin?
Then would you care to introduce me? Because I do admit I am interested, because it's one of those changes. You understand?
I do. They're typically gone when you wake up. I usually tell people it's a good idea to wrap the tattoo in saran wrap or something like that before, because the ink will stain whatever you're sleeping on. Tomorrow?
Tomorrow? Not tonight?
A little bit of a get-together right now. I don't know. It's usually not a good idea to tattoo kindred when there's kine everywhere.
Ah.
The smell can be intoxicating.
I had noticed. Tomorrow, then.
I would be on.
Maybe you'll introduce me to one of your Ren fields.
It's just a little cliche. Best way to hide is to be right out there.
It's quite an interesting approach, but I could see how it could work.
I do understand that the tower is of residence in Portland now, and just wondering, are you from them?
I'm not here on that errand.
Okay, I didn't know if you were checking on me or not. I do have several parlors in territories, though, that are well received. In fact, I'm quite liked around the Toreador, especially.
I'm not on that errand.
Okay.
So, tomorrow?
Yeah. What time would be good for you?
9:30?
9:30? 9:30 is great.
Fantastic. Put that in my Google Calendar. Then I look forward to meeting you again, Christoph.
Thanks. Vlad in the store, though.
But we're not.
I know. I'm just saying, when you do, I gotta keep... I really just don't want the humans knowing my name.
That can be such a bother, can't
it? Can. Especially, yeah.
You wouldn't think. The littlest things, and they become exceedingly persistent.
Agreed. Anyway, I won't take up any more of your time. I just was wondering if you were investigating or if you were actually curious. But
I'm here for on pleasure, not business. Good. At this time.
Good. Well, then you have a good evening. It's nice meeting you.
A pleasure.
And he'll walk away with his very eccentric duster flapping in the wind as he goes. You are to meet at the depot on the south side of Steel Bridge. Steel Bridge is the ugliest bridge in Portland. It's made out of girders. It is not there for looks. It is there for trains to pass to and fro. The depot is one of the loading stations for the trains. Are you telling anybody you're going?
I mean, I do taxes, meeting up with our previously encountered friend Mason.
Okay.
For a talk. That's it.
You get out there, and there's a shit brown Impala parked outside of the depot with bad 80s music blaring from the open window.
I get off the car.
As soon as you get out of the car, music goes off. He gets out.
Walk towards him, shake his hand.
Oh! You're the deli delivery guy. Alright.
I wish that name not to stick.
Oh, come on. So you're Ventrue?
Yes.
Okay, well. Welcome to the family.
What a family. So I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I'm gonna get down to business really quick.
Okay.
I need. Well,
I need.
How do you put this?
Hi, nice to meet you. I need something.
It's the tale of the.
I need something that's gonna benefit us both, and the camera as well.
Oh, okay. So you're making it sound like it's good for me too. Gotcha.
I need you to do a drug bust.
You want me to do my job?
Yes. And pretty much, if it succeeds, and find a person that I'm looking for at the same time as well. We might have an into a New Elysium.
You did see what happened to the last Elysium, right?
Yeah. Waste of a place.
Well, it's still standing. We're just outside of the city now.
Mm-hmm.
So what makes you think we want a New Elysium? The idea is we're going to clear out the issues that we're having, and then we'll set up Elysiums. Right now, we got that beautiful mansion outside of town.
Oh well. Still though, I would like to offer it just in case.
Okay, you are offering an Elysium.
Mm-hmm.
Which means you have a building.
I'm in the process of...
You're asking me for a favor, which means you don't have a building.
I'm in the process of obtaining said building.
Okay. What building?
The Chinese Museum. In Chinatown.
I know where it is. I wasn't thinking that it was somewhere else.
I'm gonna lift that place up. I'm gonna clean it up, make it look pretty.
Okay.
I want to make Chinatown look good. I don't want that fucking place looking shitty as it is.
I see trouble. I sense
I'm all
trouble.
ears. Please do explain.
I know that you guys were given this, like, prime real estate. I get it.
Mm.
Do you know how much trouble that place is actually going to be? Like, there's a lot of kindred there who are jealous of what you got. There really is. But they don't fully...
It's kindred nature, everybody gets jealous.
They don't fully grasp what kind of hurdles you actually have over there. You got a few kindred who are not going to give up their territory, who will probably wheel and deal with you. That's fine, because they've been there forever. Rose, for one, I understand she's your shadow and all that, but then you got that John kid who's got his place in your territory. Then there's the non-Camarilla kindred that are there. That is now your responsibility to clear out. And you're talking about walking into an area that's a cultural hub and just planting your flag. It's very Ventru, don't get me wrong. But how well do you think that's going to go? A group of white guys walk in and just like, Chinatown's ours. Gentrification, the role-playing game, is pretty much what you're doing right now.
Like, I talked to the owners of the area. They're not against the idea of me giving a sizable donation, but
what does you giving a donation have anything to do with obtaining a building? I'm sure they'll take your money. I mean, if they can use it to clean the place up or something like that, yeah, sure. But what does that mean about you having access to this place?
pretty much I'm negotiating that one exclusive access to this place.
Who are you trying to find?
Give him the name Johnny
Wang.
Johnny Wang. Human. Meth addict.
All right.
Yeah, his kindred family wants him out of the...
So, you're asking me to locate some ABC drug addict, American-born Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just going to get you access to the... You're asking me to find some drug addict kid so that you can be allowed to donate money.
No, it's gonna give me a better deal. It'll give me a better deal with this place.
Do you know how I work in the system? I keep my head down. See, not too long ago, my department was taken over by hunters. So I try not to put my neck out there. Because they're here. There are hunters. They exist. The Second Inquisition is not some rumor. Every town has what's called a CERT team. It's basically like the special services terrorist issue kind of thing. Like every prison has a CERT team. Every district has a CERT team. Things like that. And ours just happened to be completely infiltrated by fucking hunters. So doing something such as instigating drug raids in a part of town that is notoriously neglected by my department is me sticking my neck out. Searching for some kid who, by the way, the majority of the community in Chinatown doesn't want the cops there. So you're asking me to go into an area where I'm not wanted to try to find somebody. That's a lot of risk on my end. So how is that worth it to me?
Hey, if you can't do it and don't want to do it, I'm not going to force you to.
Say I can't do it. Saying how is it going to be worth it to me to put my neck out there?
I don't know if this is how camarilla politics work, but I think the exact word would be, I will owe you a boon.
What kind of boon?
What do you think this kind of work would require?
This is a lot of shit that you're asking me to do. Like,
even if it's just locating the kid.
You're still asking me to go into an area where the cops are not wanted. Has anybody taught you about boons yet? And I'm not talking about like the boons that you have. I mean, has anybody actually told you how they work yet? There are effectively 4 types of boons in the Camarilla.
Mm-hmm.
You just take this as a family lesson that I'm giving you.
I welcome it.
There's trivial boons. There's minor boons. There's major boons. And then there's life boons. The major boon is a boon that can alter the flow of kindred affairs in an entire domain, either directly or indirectly. They always involve real risk and real expense, usually to both parties. I'm thinking this might fall under a major boon. Now, I understand that you are working with a Marischal coterie, which means this is not a decision that's up to you. You're going to want to ask them how far you actually want to go into this.
I will have a sit down with everybody. See which are options.
He'll hand you one of his cards, because he's a police officer and they actually have them, he has a reason to have one. His is like boxed around the edges. One corner is bent. Like he doesn't pull it out of a case. He doesn't pull it out of his wallet. He pulls it out of his pocket. He's just like, he obviously just keeps a stack of them in his pocket. This guy doesn't look Ventrue to you. This guy is too rough and tumble to be Ventrue. From what you've seen. Talk to your coterie before a deal is actually made.
We'll certainly do.
And if you have a coterie, take advantage of it. Like, seriously. They will save your life. He's just gonna get in his car and drive off.
The music.
No, he doesn't turn the music back on. He just leaves. Leaving you standing in the depot alone.
Get back in the car. Text everybody. When do you guys think it's good for a sit down?
Okay, so you get a text. When do you think is a good time for us to have a sit down?
It says, I'd like to schedule a sit down to discuss business with everybody. With everyone. That's literally what I said.
Yeah.
I'm going to send a text into him now.
Cool. Now, I'm actively ignoring that because I need to text Hadia. Met the POI.
There you go.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yes. Where do you want to meet?
Kroger's or what's the grocery store?
I don't think any would be open right now.
Nah, I don't care about that.
Okay, so you just want to meet at local grocery store?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
We're going to meet at the Kroger, insert grocery store, Publix, whatever the fuck, parking lot. It's going to totally look like a fucking drug deal going on. So it'll be no problem because the police do not give a shit in Chinatown, apparently.
You'll get there, and her car is already waiting, sitting idle.
Park, approach on foot. I'm not going to do the pull window to window shit.
Okay.
But, hey, you want to meet up?
Usually this involves getting into a passenger seat, but I'm going to wait for like a hand signal on that one.
She'll unlock the door.
Okay, that counts. Thunk.
So you saw the person of interest.
I did.
Is he, in fact, a person of interest?
Oh, he seems to be. If you consider you an interesting person and me an interesting person in that interesting sort of way.
He's kindred.
I was wondering. The level of discretion seemed a little unusual. Oh, yes, I believe so.
Okay.
If not, he puts on an excellent front. If I had to guess, obviously, I would say some kind of Zemitzi.
Interesting.
Well,
He
looks like a reptile of some sort.
Given the current state of the Sabbat itself.
And his place of business has people's skin on the ceiling. So that may be stereotypical, but those stereotypical signs all point at a dragon.
Given the current state of the Sabbat, that does not exactly say Sabbat, unfortunately. Things were so much easier before. But that also could mean that he would be in league with the anarchs of the city.
Well, he certainly isn't a member of the coterie in charge of that area.
True. Which means it is up to you all to decide how you wish to handle that. Now, given the fact that there is most likely a Zemitzi in your territory,
Yes.
you could very well report that there's a Zemitzi in your territory. I have no doubt in my mind that that lunatic won't tell you to just handle it yourselves. But we could actually see how Darian would handle such a situation.
It would be good to know his responses. And if he tells us to handle it ourselves, Well, that really doesn't set us back any further than we were to begin with.
It does not.
I'm thinking on it, but I really can't envision anything that he would do that would be more harmful than indifference off the top of my head, although I'm sure there's something.
I seriously doubt when it comes to a flesh crafter that it's going to be indifference. But...
Well, was there anything in particular you wanted to know from inside? Because
I had heard slight rumors that we might be dealing with a kindred in the area that is not sanctioned or acknowledged.
yes.
And I wanted to know for sure. Especially since he's in your direct territory. It's something that you specifically would want to know
interested.
about.
Yes.
Now, there being a Tzimisce, it is something... The old saying of the Tzimisce. If you see a monster...
If you see a monster proceeding in the opposite direction, your target is already dead, I believe.
If you see a monster in the darkness, you've found a Nosferatu, you've been found out, and leave. If you see a monster by torchlight, it's a Tzimisce, and your job has been done for you.
Well, this would definitely count as torchlight.
Clan Tzimisce is dangerous. But we're dangerous. So what is that to say? Who knows exactly what it means to be a Tzimisce nowadays? We are in what I like to call the new Dark Ages, after all.
We have a new Inquisition.
Clan lines are fading. Sects barely mean anything. And we're at war with the Anarchs. Most Tzimisce nowadays, if they are not with the Sword of Cain, they are with the Anarchs. But that does not mean all. Did you speak with him?
I did.
And how was
Part of why I have such a strong assumption that he is kindred. He made mention of things that would be masquerade breaches if known by any mortal, of course.
So he knew you were kindred.
Oh, yes. Well, I spent a considerable amount of time inside his business. It's not all that surprising.
Tzimisce do have a way of telling. Not exactly sure what that is, but they do tend to have a way to tell. I've heard rumors that the flesh calls to them.
Wasn't entirely discreet, but that seems to have worked out exactly as I'd hoped it would.
Was he at least cordial?
It was. I actually have an appointment to meet tomorrow.
Do you?
Yes. I told him that I was there socially rather than on business, because if I were on business, that could have led to a confrontation when I told him to move along or something of that nature.
Well,
And I did go there without the prompting of any member of my coterie.
that might actually be best. Who knows how they would handle it.
My thinking was that the business port visit will come in its due time.
I would just tread carefully.
To be honest, my highest concern is, at the moment, is that I was not able to examine the operation of their tattooing devices. I do not know if the blood bond can be tattooed upon a person.
It doesn't take much. When I was taught, I always heard that a taste can bond. But in the kindred practice of making a ghoul, It usually takes around a pint.
That does not help. Is there a time constraint, perhaps?
There's not much worry with 1.
But even 1 is to be avoided.
Even 1 is to be avoided, because 1 could lead to 2.
Yes.
2 could lead to 3.
Yes.
However, with 1, other than fond thoughts of the person you're bound to, it doesn't cause much of an issue. But you are less inclined to believe ill of them.
Even 1 could be detrimental in these circumstances.
I would.
That's where I was thinking on how fresh, if that made a difference. Because if anything was to be surreptitiously added, I could play for time to allow its efficacy to dim.
Vitae's effects can wear off within an hour.
An hour. Then, if I have the inks under my eye for that time...
Well, given the fact that Kindred typically cannot get tattooed, you could wish to see the entire process.
Yes, that's that occurred.
Curiosity is a tool here.
And curiosity is genuine enough not to require dissembling. When one does not have to lie, one cannot be seen to be lying. Yes, this seems like the safest course with that action. But all of this is also somewhat predicated on my own interpretation of affairs, too. Because under normal circumstances, it is forbidden to take on a tattoo because it is impermissible to change that which has been created. What I've heard is that they do not persist on our forms.
No.
And so my musing is that since on a mortal a temporary tattoo or adornment is permissible, that for a kindred perhaps it is permissible.
Because it's not going to stay.
Because it was not a permanent change to that which has been created. But since we have the opportunity to talk...
Since they do not persist, I do not see a reason not to.
That was my reasoning, but...
This would be almost like henna.
Yes, in a way. That was my thinking, but one of the easiest ways to find your way into the wrong actions is to have too much confidence in oneself. So I thought it best if I discussed it with you, since I have the opportunity.
I do not think it would be a problem. If you would like, I can reach out to elders and see what their interpretation would be.
I have to imagine that the subject has arisen before.
I'm sure in the past that it has. When is your appointment?
Tomorrow at 9:30.
If I send the question out tonight, we should receive an answer by morning.
And if it is not, it would be fairly easy to come up with some way to avoid this course of action.
Well, canceling an appointment.
Yes.
Can happen.
Oh, certainly. Pressing needs.
I mean, in this case, you could actually just tell him the truth.
Oh, yes. True. Oh, he's almost certainly is aware, or at least suspects, my affiliations.
Did that seem to unnerve him or anything?
It did not.
Then he's either incredibly naive or incredibly sure of his abilities. He's said to have parlors throughout the country. I'll look in on him also with family from around there.
Knowledge is never to be esteemed poorly.
And a dragon is never to be underestimated.
And in any event, it may be some time before any business meeting or a thing of other than the social may have to occur at all. Was there anything else about the visit that I can tell you that would be of interest?
Is there anything of note?
I can provide a written report. It seems to be a fairly, given the nature of the business, fairly above board in that. I'm certain that the process of these modifications allows him ample latitude to indulge in his alleged clan's stereotypical proclivities and to obtain vitae in various ways.
Possibly.
A mortal was injured while I was on the premises.
Really?
Yes. One of his clients was going to require medical care. So he must take a fairly free hand with what he does. Again, that might speak to great confidence.
Did you see them?
I did not. It's possible that it's a ruse, but I doubt that. It seemed too casual.
How do you know?
He spoke to one of his employees, retainers.
Was this hushed, or...?
It was fairly conversational. As I said, it was very casual.
It might not be out of the ordinary for them to need treatment after their procedures, then.
Which plays into the belief of confidence. If he's accustomed to that sort of thing happening and pays it very little mind.
I want more detail on that. All right, that's probably all that we can learn for right now, then.
I'm not sure how to go about learning more about that, but I'll see what I can. Maybe one of the other coterie could get further on that front. I thank you, as always, for bringing these things to my attention, and hope that I can do well in bringing you further detail. And I guess I'll get out of the car.
Okay.